Hey guys, it's me again. Surprise, surprise. So we didn't really have any questions for this week's Q&A, more or less we didn't. So I'm kind of just going to go with a frequently asked question that I get in person or people just email me about. And that is people wondering, what on earth do you do if you want to report a neglect case? Say you're going, you have a neighbor and they don't seem to be taking care of their cattle very well. Or you're driving around and you see a horse that looks like it's starving. What do? Should you report it? I chose to go ahead and do this one in person on video because this is kind of a subject that's close to my heart. I have been reported 3 times now. They were all false cases, but that's happened over the summer, this last summer, all for the same reason. So I know what it feels like when you get reported, and I was able to talk with the sheriffs that came out a little bit, and they were able to give me some pointers on this as well. So we're going to try it. And you guys are still scaring me a little bit. I'm telling you, this camera thing, this is not cool. I get really flustered, but we're going to try it. So first off, when you're thinking, you see something and your mind jumps, I need to report that. Slow down, please. Things are often not what they seem. You may have a neighbor and his cattle are thin, or he's got goats that are thin, or something's limping. Slow down. Don't call the officials immediately. My best advice to you would be to go talk to the people. Maybe you're passing by and you don't even know these people. I don't care. Go drive up and talk to them. Honest. Go find out what is going on. If you care about the animal enough to think you should report it, then you should care enough to actually go and see for yourself what the problem is. Do it politely though. A lot of times things are just not what they seem. So go up, knock on the door, or if you really want to be polite, you could even make some cookies or something just to break the ice a little bit. Just talk to the person. Just say, hey, I noticed this. Is there any way I can help? Or I just want to see what the problem was. You'll figure something out. I am not a talker. This is hard enough talking on camera, so don't ask me what to say. But see if you can't figure out for yourself what the problem is. In my example, or my case, I had a Jersey cow. Her name was Ellie, and she was extremely thin. She was a neglect case from the start. I got her for $300. Normally you're paying like $800 at the minimum for a cow. I paid $300 for her, thinking, oh, okay, I'll just fatten her up and we'll be good to go. Well, the neighbors in the hills did not like that idea. All they do, they come driving by and they see, oh, thin cow, oh my goodness, panic! Call the authorities. This girl who's here, she's not taking care of her cow. Oh, please. That wasn't the case. She was a neglected case. I bought her. I was trying my best to fatten her up. I got reported. So one day comes along, I'm home alone, sheriff comes knocking on my door, says someone's reported you, saying you are neglecting your animals. I need to go see what's going on. I freaked out. Mentally, I think I stayed pretty calm on the outside, but it was horrible. I had the person who reported me come by and at least just ask. I could have said, no, it's no problem. You can come out and see the cow for yourself. I feed her 3 times a day. I could have explained it, but instead he called, whoever it was, they called the sheriff on me. Just go and talk to the person. If you see something that looks suspicious to you, go talk to that person. Somehow. You think of something. Maybe they got on a neglect case too. Maybe they rescued it. I really don't like the word rescued anymore. Maybe they bought a thin animal. Or maybe it just recently got sick. We're heading into winter now. Mud happens. Maybe the animal's limping because it's got hoof rot, and the person is treating that. Or maybe the animal's old. Old animals don't hold weight very well. A lot of times I'll see horses that look thin. They're old. If they're thoroughbreds or whatever, those thoroughbreds do not hold weight well. You have to feed those things like crazy. I know. I used to have one. So just try and figure out what the problem is before you jump to conclusions. That's the best thing. Because let me tell you, when people report you, it hurts. It truly, honestly hurts. The first time that sheriff came by, I panicked. I was scared. I had no idea what he would do or what was going to happen. It turned out to be fine. He turned out to be a very nice gentleman. He let me go. He understood my project here. Then the second time, Yes, I got reported a second time. Second time a sheriff came. You know, it was, oh my word, I cannot believe this is still happening. It's the same cow, the same problem. Someone's still reporting me. And you feel shame. There's a whole lot of shame. Neighbors are driving by and they see the sheriff's car in front of your house. They see you talking with the sheriff and he's taking down notes and who knows what they're thinking, and maybe I just shouldn't care about what they think, but when you live in an area like this, everybody knows everybody, so to say. I mean, word travels really fast up here in the hills, and you know, stories get twisted. You have no idea what people are going to be saying, or you know, how they're messing up your story. Oh yeah, the sheriff's down at those folks' place again. You'd think they'd take those awful animals away, you know, just from these horrible people. You have a reputation to worry about still, and you know, someone reported me 3 times. Why couldn't they have just come to the door and talked to me? My guess is they were too scared. Too scared, too busy. I'm gonna guess they were just too scared. You know what? Man up, buck up, whatever, what have you. Go and talk to the person. Do not put that person through that unnecessary emotional roller coaster, if you will. Sure, if they only get reported once, I mean, that's still bad. But like in my case, when I got reported 3 times, by the 3rd time, I was ready to cry. I was so done with this. I was so tired of it. And I just wanted the person who was reporting me to just come to the door so I could explain it. I was even tempted to just like paint a great big sign and just say, yes, the cow is thin. Yes, I'm feeding it. Thank you for your concern. Whatever. You know, I just wanted to somehow communicate to this person to leave me alone. I've got this under control. Thank you very much for your concern. Anyway, I really didn't want to say thank you. I probably more wanted to say get lost, but the polite part of me says I should just say thank you and be done with it. So yeah, go talk to the person and just know all the facts. If you are going to report someone and you've talked to them and maybe they're edging, oh, well, that's none of your business, or they seem to have no problem with this scenario, and you can see for yourself, okay, there's no food, there's no water, there's no whatever. Be very detailed in your list before you go reporting someone. And you know, a lot of times, and not a lot of times, but there are still times when you really should report someone. I've had neglect cases here that really should have been reported before they got that bad. My thoroughbred, she wasn't mine, I was boarding her and training her. But the thoroughbred mare that was here a few years ago, she had been put out in a back pasture. Like, this person had a very extensive property, and this person put the thoroughbred and Arabian mares out in some back pasture and kept her geldings up to the house. She forgot about them. That's her claim. She says, I forgot about them for 12 years. Yeah, this thoroughbred was very, very thin. How do you forget something for 12 years? Anyway, that was, the sheriffs did go to her place. I didn't know that, and they said it was a true neglect case. There was no food, no water for the horses. They just scavenged whatever they could out of that pasture, drank out of puddles, and I think there might have been a creek for them. But there are still cases when something should be reported. Just know your facts. One of the sheriffs that came, I got to talking with him. I said, how often do you truly get a case that, you know, means you have to take the animal off the property or you have to fine the owner? And he said 9 out of 10 times there's nothing wrong. 9 out of 10 times that he gets called out, he finds that it's perfectly fine. It's an old horse that's just a little on the thin side, or the cow, my cow, it was a neglect case and hasn't been fattened up, or the ducks are swimming in a pond of ice water. I kid you not, the sheriff said one of the calls he got called out on was there were these ducks swimming in a pond, and someone reported the owner saying, the ducks' feet must be freezing cold. This person is neglecting the ducks. That's when I go, really? City people? Okay, I'll give you some slack, but I'm sure the ducks would not be in the water if they were cold. Okay, I'm rabbit trailing. So yeah, just talk to the person if at all possible, and then have your facts straight before you call the authorities. They're going to want to know exactly what you're seeing, what's going on. and then just make sure that this is truly a cause that needs to be reported. Don't put that person through what they don't need to be going through. If they don't truly need someone to be checking them out, a sheriff coming and checking their place out, then don't put them through that. Just do everything you can to not report them until you've come to the very end of the rope and you realize there is nothing else to do but to have the authorities step in. So, that is my very professional opinion of a 21-year-old who's, so experienced with life. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm sure some people here, some of you readers could probably give me better stories, better advice, but this is mine. My advice or my opinion, I don't know. Maybe it's both. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.